Spread your legs. Clear. Let's go. You already know what it is. Your boy Pistol Pete. Welcome to Dog in the Yard. It's that yard talk. Today we got Big Mike. That's my guest today, straight out of the Bronx. Big Mike did 20 years in prison. He was in prison with me as well. I didn't know that till the middle of the interview, that I happened to get myself caught up in a jam and in trouble in prison because of Mike. You know what I'm saying? Something that happened with Mike, and this shit is crazy. But with that all being said, man, Mike been home 11 years. He's blessed, beautiful family. I mean, you already know he's out here doing his thing, man. And with that being said, let's get right into the interview, man. You already know, BX, stand up, Big Mike in the building. Dog in the Yard. Man, I want to just take the time out to thank my guys up there, Jake and Ben, for doing an amazing job with this pen. This is that Dom CBD pen. These guys took their time doing this pen. It tastes great. They do them 3 different flavors: berry, mint, and mango. My favorite is berry, just to let you know, guys. I know a lot of people out there dealing with pain, dealing with anxiety, where I deal with anxiety. And I'm telling you guys, it works for me. If you want to place your order today, you're more than welcome. Just hit up domecbd.co. Punch in the code, Dog in the Yard, and you get your 15% off early. So for those people that's out there that's going through it right now and is stressed out in the house, that don't smoke marijuana, trust me, my brothers, this CBD pen does it all, man. Place your order today, man. It's your boy Pistol Pete, Dog in the Yard. You already know. When you in that Tampa Bay area, make sure you reach out to my boy Gus Torres, man. If you want anything that has to do with real estate, man, make sure you hit him up. You get the lowest prices and the finest houses, man. Trust me when I tell you. But don't forget to mention my name. You already know that Pistol Pete will get you that early discount. And that's my brother, man, Gus Torres. You already know, out in the Tampa Bay area. Make sure you hit him up, man. Sell, buy, invest, all that. Make sure you hit him up, man, because he focused with that out there. Tampa Bay, you already know, it's your boy Pistol, man. Get at me. You already know what it is. Your boy Pistol Pete. And when you in that Boynton Beach area, make sure you see my boy, man. If you trying to get lined up, shaped up, and you need that privacy, make sure you see my boy, man, at that Private Hair Studios, man, up in Boynton Beach, man, Gateway, man. And check out my boys up there, man. You know what I mean? They focus, man. My boy Herm, DJ, they out there, you already know. It's super private, and it's exclusive. Most importantly, you already know it's your boy Pistol Pete, Dog in the Yard. You already know what it is. Your boy Pistol, Dog in the fucking Yard. Today we got my man Mike from the Bronx. Did 20 years up top, up north, in jail for murder. Let's welcome him to the show with a round of applause, man. My nigga Mike, man, from the Bronx. What up, Mike? How you, man?
I'm good, my G. Good to see you, Pistol.
Likewise, man. How you been, brother?
I've been good, man. Blessed, man. I've been home now 11 years, man. Started a family, man, and I'm trying to move forward, man. Get my life together.
Good shit, man. Good shit. Man, Mike, I want to talk about a little bit about, your time in Rikers Island, your time when you went to jail, what you went to jail for, you know what I'm saying? So just a little bit for the youth to hear, you know what I mean? Your story, a little bit about, what you went through and all that. So, with that being said, what year you went to jail?
1988, the summer, August.
Of August.
Yeah.
And how old you was?
I was 17.
Okay, you was 17 years old.
Yeah.
And you go into jail for murder.
Right.
So you went to Rikers Island. You got caught immediately?
Yeah, I got caught like about 3 days later. Dude that grew up with me snitched on me.
Okay.
And they came and bagged me like 3 days after the incident.
And you went to Rikers Island.
Right.
And where on Rikers Island?
I was in C-74 with you, but you was in adults at the time.
Okay, okay. And how was that?
It was rough, man. Back then, it ain't like it is now. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was doing their thing over the phone because the phones were free. So every house you went to, man, you had to get it in, man, to get phone time to talk to your family.
This is your first time in prison?
Yeah.
Okay, so how was that like? You coming straight out the street and now you gotta almost fight to get on the phone and call your family. Like, how was all that?
A lot of dudes are gonna front and tell you that they wasn't scared, or you know what I'm saying, that you know what I'm saying, that they They were gangsters in the street, but homie, I don't give a fuck who you are. If you never been in prison, it's a hell of an experience, especially you a kid.
Of
I was
course.
17 years old, so they throwing me into the lion's den. You know, you got dudes in there that been in there forever. Like, they coming back and forth. You know what I mean? So they're already accustomed to the situation. You not. So
Right.
you trying to come in, you come in there, you acting humble and shit like that. And that's like the wrong place to be humble because dudes don't respect that. You
Right.
feel me? So sometimes it takes a little aggression to turn you into an animal. You know what I mean? And then, you know, you just start rolling with the punches. And motherfuckers act like animals, you gotta act like an animal.
So what is the things that your first couple of days and just whole transition from being free and being in Rikers Island in the full building, which with a bunch of adolescents, right? Because that was an adolescent jail.
Yeah, I was in an adolescent.
Yeah, so what was that like?
Well, the first thing was they put me in a Brooklyn house, which that was like right there. It was like mad tension because I was from the Bronx. So they didn't really respect dudes that was from the Bronx if you went to a Brooklyn house. You know what I mean? They only gave love to dudes from their borough because that's how it was back then. It was a borough thing. Everybody was separated. You had your Brooklyn house, your Bronx house, your Queens house. So when I got there was only like one dude, one cat from the Bronx named Nell. And he was facing, he had 3 bodies and 2 attempts at the time. And he was the only one. He had like a half-hour phone time. So when I got there, they had this cat from Brooklyn. It's all right if I say names, right? But it's the nicknames. So,
You can say all the names.
All right. His name was Bigger. And he was from Brooklyn. Dude looked like he was an adult. He didn't even look like he was an adolescent. He was a big motherfucker. He was like 6'2", like 2 and some change. He was running the house.
Okay.
So my man brought me to him. He's like, yo, this is my man Mike. You know what I'm saying? He's facing a lot of time. You know, he got a body, whatever. He wants to talk to his peoples. He want to know what's good with the phone time. So he was like, listen, this is how it is, man. When somebody bounce, you know what I'm saying, you move into their spot or whatever. But for right now, you got to hold it down. You know what I'm saying? Your man got a half hour. He can share the phone with you for now. And then once somebody leave, boom, then you take that slot. So I said, all right, we'll do that for now, whatever. But I noticed that, you know what I'm saying, a couple of dudes bounced and they wasn't unhappy. He kept putting dudes from Brooklyn in that slot. Or either that or dudes that was already there just got more time. You feel me? So I said, yo, this nigga's trying to play me like I'm a clown or something. You know what I mean? So I told my man, yo, some got to give, man. I got to talk to my family, dog. I'm facing 25 to life. You know what I mean? I ain't got no communication with my peoples, man. Fuck that. You know what I'm saying? Some got to give.
This is my home right now.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So I didn't have no knife. I didn't have no razor. So I went into the broom closet. I got a scrub brush. It had a stick with a nice solid piece of wood on the bottom. I took the stick out. I grabbed the scrub brush. I waited for homie to turn around. He started watching TV. I just went up behind him and I cracked him upside his fucking head. Once he fell, the whole house rushed me. You know what I'm saying? So I went at it with the whole house. I got out of there with fucking a bloody nose, speed knots and all that. But it was what it was. The riot squad came. They fucked us up a little bit. And they took me to the front, to the Y Me pen.
And nobody gets the phone.
No, nobody's going to get the phone. You already know what that is. You know what I'm saying? But,
True.
From there, they just started bouncing me, from one house to another. And I just kept
from
going.
there, where you so you stood there on Rikers Island or they shipped you to
Nah, they left me in Rikers. I was in C-74 for the whole time until I got sentenced.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
so how long you was there?
I was in C-74 for about a year and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and then what? You went to trial or you
No, I copped out. I took a 8-year bid, an 8 to 24, because I found out that a dude that grew up with me was telling on me. So I had a private lawyer at the time. So my mom's was paying for the lawyer. And she was a little paranoid because, I'm her youngest son. I'm her only son, and it's only me and my sister. And my sister was like, the good one of the family. I was the fuck up. So she didn't want to lose her baby boy to the system. So she's like, yo, listen, man, please, man. I'm talking to the lawyer, take a plea bargain, because if you go to trial, man, this dude is telling on you. If he's convincing on the stand, you're going down. They're going to give you a quarter, man. You know what I'm saying? That's 25 to life. I'd rather you take a plea bargain, get 5 years, 6 years, something. At least I know you coming home young. You're only 17. Think about it. So at the beginning, man, listen, even 5 years, that shit sounded crazy. I was like, 5 years, man, you out of your fucking mind? Fuck that. You know what I'm saying? We going to trial.
It's easy for you to say.
You know what I'm saying? You talking about like that shit is like 2 months or something. Fuck that. That's 5 years.
Hell yeah.
So then, I kept on trying to prolong it, until finally he told me, listen, man, they offered me 15 to life. I said, man, fuck you. That's not going down. For that, I go to trial. After that, they offered me the 10 to 20. I refused that. Then finally, the DA came to me and said, listen, this is what it is. I got somebody willing, able to testify on you right now that knows you, that grew up with you. Here's his name. This is his information. And if you don't decide to take a plea bargain, you're going to get 25 to life. So he already has my mother convinced that I'm going to get life, no matter what.
No matter
you know what I'm saying?
what, yeah.
She don't know the system. I don't know the
Of
system.
course.
Remember, I'm new to this.
Of course.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I go back into the bullpen. My mother say, please think about it. Please think about it. Look. He says, listen, 8 years, that's all we offering you. You don't take these 8 years, we going to trial. And I'm going to request a speedy trial. That's how it's going down. I went back to the island. I came back. I took the plea bargain. They gave me 8 to 24 years. I copped out to that. But what I didn't know was that you don't look at the front of the bid. You look at the back.
Right.
which is the 24. That's the reality of what you're getting sentenced to. You're getting them 24 years.
Yeah, they still hold it. They can still hold you.
Right, till you're 24, unless you CR. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, when I went into the system, I ended up catching a new charge. You know what I'm saying? I ended up getting hit at the parole board.
So did you catch a new case where? In Rikers Island?
No, when I went upstate.
Okay, so after being on Rikers Island for what, 2 years almost?
Yeah, almost 2 years.
You went upstate.
Right.
Where you went to?
The first jail I went to was Elmira.
And how was that?
It was rough. I bumped into a lot of dudes I had beef with from the island up there.
Okay, so then what happened?
And then, I clashed with a lot of dudes. One of the cats was over the phone that I explained to you earlier, the kid Bigger. He had a lot of people from Brooklyn, and we ended up clashing and shit. And I bumped into two of the guys in the yard one day, and there was like 6 Spanish dudes in the yard, and the rest was black. And all the Spanish dudes were scared to death. They were all in the corner, like, they were shook. There wasn't too many Spanish dudes that was making noise back then, you know what I'm saying? You know that because you came up at the same time I did. You know what I mean? So there was very few dudes that was making a name for themselves. Make a long story short, I go into the yard. This cat approached me. He tried to swing at me with a razor. He got a bullshit cut. It wasn't nothing major. I pounded on him, you know what I'm saying? Because he thought I was going to run because I got cut. That didn't happen. We started scrapping. The police came in. They broke it up. They put me in another block where I was keep block. Keep block means you're confined in your cell 23 hours a day. You only come out one time. It's not the box. You're confined to your cell. So they did that a couple of times with me or whatever. And I kept bouncing from jail to jail because everywhere I went, I kept bumping into dudes. And the way it is up north, you know, if a dude that you pop off on has a friend, back then they used to write letters to each other. They used to write a little kite, yo, this nigga coming through, get at him. You know what I'm saying? He hit me or he cut my man, he stabbed my man, whatever. And that's how it was. That's why they stopped all that correspondence from jail to jail because dudes was getting touched.
People was getting stabbed because of that.
Yeah, because of that. You know what I'm saying?
So you went to Elmira, and then where did you? So you got in trouble there?
Yeah, I got in trouble there. They bounced me from Elmira. I ended up going to Southport. Southport was a new facility at the time. It wasn't the box yet.
It was population. It was a new jail.
Right.
And how was that?
It was like it was dead. It was like everybody was isolated to their own yard and shit. It was a brand new jail. Everything was like there was no COs in the hallway. Everything was done by electric. You know what I'm saying? It was like by cameras and shit. You walk through the hallway. And they see you in the camera, they open the doors, and that's basically how it was. But everybody was isolated except for the weekend. You know what I mean? Everybody goes to the big yard. A friend of mine got into a beef with a Muslim dude, and he stabbed him up on a basketball court. You probably remember T-Bone.
Yeah.
Remember T-Bone from back? Okay, well, he ended up getting into some shit with some dude in the yard, some Muslim kid, he stabbed him up. Nobody knew anything about that. So the next day when we come outside, it's the weekend, everybody goes outside together. Now, he's isolated in a different block, so we didn't know what happened with him. So just the fact that he stabbed a Muslim dude, now you got like 1,000 Muslims in the yard waiting to pop off because their brother got stabbed up.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's just the way it was. When you get in trouble with a group or a belief, you got beef with everybody.
That's how it was. You know what I mean? And I'm in the middle of that because that's my peeps. It's like I'm rolling with you, and we walking around together. You popped on somebody maybe a year ago, 2 years ago.
Same thing goes with us. Yeah. We could be neutral, but we together.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
So then what happened?
So basically, a big ass war transpired in the yard. The Muslims transformed on all the Spanish dudes in the yard, and it turned into a racial war. And everybody just started going at each other. Man, dudes started taking rocks, putting it in their socks, and chasing motherfuckers. Dudes wasn't armed. They wasn't ready for that. So it just turned out into an all-out ugly war. Then they shot into the yard, tear gas. They took all of us inside, and that's when they closed that jail down and turned it into the box.
Okay, and then you got transferred from there.
Yeah, after that, yeah.
And where you went at, Mike?
From there, I went to Coxsackie.
Okay, and what happened in Coxsackie?
Oh, you know what happened in Coxsackie. That's why you laughing, pistol. You know what I mean? Yeah, we started a revolution in that motherfucker. You already know, man. You know what I mean?
We closed that shit for a week.
Yeah, you know, man. You know, we bumped into a couple of dudes. You know, and this dude, you know, I'm gonna mention his name because you know this cat for a long time. His name was Brandon. And you know, this cat had a lot of dudes under his wing. He had a lot of soldiers. You know what I'm saying? He had a lot of dudes that respected him, that, you know what I'm saying, did moves for him, whatever the case may be. So when I got to the spot, me and his man had went at it. So me and him already had tension. We had drama, and I already knew that. You know what I'm saying? So I already knew his intent towards me. So I figured I'm going to get this dude before he gets me. The dude is a stepper. He ain't no punk, so I'm going to make sure I get at this cat immediately. You know what I'm saying? Ain't going to be no waiting. So as you remember the day I was in the yard, he's playing chess with a Spanish cat. I went up to him. I tried to stab him. And he jetted. When he jetted, my man came behind him and cut him in the forehead. And you ran across the yard and snuffed him. And then, you know what I'm saying, he jetted to his corner. The police got him because he was leaking, like, profusely out his forehead. and they took him out the yard. None of us got caught that day. You remember? The following day, I came out, but I slept. And we had this bitch-ass nigga named Boss, you know what I mean, that came and he was talking to me, and these two dudes came behind me that was rolling with Brandon, and they hit me up bad. You know what I'm saying? They hit me like 4 times with 14-inch ice picks. Them niggas fucked me up, you know what I mean? I had a punctured lung, I had a punctured kidney.
I didn't make it to the yard. I was still on my way out the door.
Yeah, I know, because the reason that happened was because my house...
Yo, Mike, that's you,
yeah,
Mike?
Yeah, baby. Yeah. That's me, my nigga. And you know, man.
Yeah, Mike, man.
Yeah.
What's up, man?
Yeah, and it's been years, Pistol. It's been, 25, 30 years since I saw you, my G.
Nigga, I closed that jail down because of that.
You did. I remember. Listen, let me tell you something. The fact
I stabbed everybody. We went crazy.
We met each other on the island. We hardly knew each other. But the fact that you knew my peoples, you know what I'm saying? You was cool, my peoples, and you jumped when shit popped. Just that alone gave me mad respect for you, because there ain't too many dudes that would do that.
Of course.
You feel me? And there's very few Spanish dudes that had a name, you know what I'm saying, up north on the island, you know what I mean, that was doing their thing.
Yeah.
You dig? So when you meet a dude like that, you know what I'm saying, you got to respect them. You know what I'm saying?
You
Because you know
treasure
what it
him,
is.
bro, because it's real.
And that's why we all, you know, we bumped heads plenty of times later on down the line, but unfortunately, I was always in the box. Every time I bumped into you, we
Hold
never
up,
got a
Mike.
chance
So
to
let's go back to that.
Yeah.
So they ran down on you.
Right.
And they stabbed you up.
Right.
And what was the repercussions as far as just stabbing? Could we see where they stabbed you at? Could we show?
Yeah. I got stabbed from my...
Sheet on. Make sure they get you on the...
I got stabbed. It's from the bottom of my chest, and it goes all the way down past my
Mike,
navel.
they almost killed you, right? Like an inch away from your heart?
Yeah.
I mean, this is the word, because that's what drove me crazy. I was...
Right. See, the word was that I died. That was the word.
I didn't know you... I didn't get that. I just knew that it was telling me, yo, they almost killed her like an inch away from his heart. I was like,
you can imagine this. Imagine this. You got two dudes. They come up behind you. They grab you. You can't move.
Yeah, of course.
Both these dudes is big. You feel me? So they grab me from either side. The dude that was talking to me, he jetted. He hauled ass. He broke out. He left me for dead. So now, the reason these dudes got the drop on me, because they worked in the mess hall. And the only way you could be in the yard before my house was the first house that went in, B2. I know you remember B2. So B2 was the first house into the yard. But being that they worked in the mess hall, they get let out before everybody, so they already in the yard, the mess hall workers.
So they was ready.
So they was waiting for me, you know what I'm saying? So they already had it planned. So as soon as I walked down them steps, and I started talking to this bitch-ass nigga, they came behind me and they grabbed me. As soon as they grabbed me, they already had the ice pick in me. It went from the back to the front. I got hit 4 times like that. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So the dude told me, he said, they missed your heart by like a quarter inch. You feel me? Because you moved. If you wouldn't have moved, they would have pierced your heart. You would have died instantly. Because they hit me with ice picks. They were like 14 inches long. They went straight through.
Yeah.
So I had a punctured kidney. I had a punctured lung. You know what I'm saying? I had internal bleeding. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even know none of this. Because all I felt was like a tightness. When you run, you get like a cramp. That's all I felt.
Yeah.
You feel me? I was just tight that I got caught. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're not even worrying about that shit.
I'm just pissed that they got the drop on me, and I was stupid enough to let these dudes catch me. You feel me? So now they rushed me to the hospital or whatever. All hell broke loose now in the jail. So now I'm in the hospital. I got all these civilians that work in the jail coming to visit me. I got the Spanish dude from Latino Unidos coming to see me. I got the head of the mosque, the imam, coming outside to see me. I got the head of the COs coming outside. Yo, you got to send a letter to the jail because they going crazy up over there. They shutting that shit down. That shit turned into a full-scale riot. What the fuck is going on? You got to talk to these dudes. I said, I ain't sending no fucking kite. I look like a fucking idiot to you. You ain't going to say that I got shit in smash. And you're going to put me in administrative seg talking about I controlling motherfuckers. You out of your mind? So that's when I found out that you and a couple of other brothers got together. Y'all popped off on everybody in the yard. And y'all shut it down. And once I heard that was it. They transferred me to the hospital when I came back and they sent me to Clinton.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then from there, what?
From Clinton, they put me in the hospital in Clinton, and from there, they dropped me down to Population. And when I got to Population, I bumped into a lot of good motherfuckers. You know, my man Quiet Tone, my man Carlito from Hoab. Couple of good dudes, you know what I'm saying, that was already established. Yeah. You know, warriors, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so you was good off top.
I was good, you know what I'm saying? I started eating, started working out, got back in shape and shit like that, but it's like all them dudes that was coming from the beef in Coxsackie, from Rikers Island, they just kept coming through, but now I had to drop on these niggas. You know what I'm saying? And we was popping on these dudes. I ended up going to the box. And when I got to the box...
So when you was in Clinton, you wound up going to the box?
Yeah, for blazing one of the dudes from Coxsackie.
So you caught one of those guys, you caught him up.
Right. Not the dudes that stabbed me. Dudes that was associated with them.
That was down with them.
Yeah, that was down with them. Yeah.
So then what you did to them? What happened?
Well, I stabbed one of them in the yard. I caught one of them. I lit him up in the yard. My man cut him in the face They caught us. I didn't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? They caught us. They took us inside. They took me straight to Unit 14. That's the solitary confinement unit.
And how much time? How long you was there for?
They gave me 1.5 years for that incident.
Okay.
But altogether, I ended up doing 3.5 years in Clinton because I caught more charges while I was in the box.
Oh bullshit! Me too.
Yeah.
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 we was crazy as hell.
Yeah.
Yo. So and then you went to the box.
Right.
SHU.
Right.
Special housing unit, and you got 18 months.
Right.
And you caught how much more time?
Oh man, I ended up fucking catching like another
For what?
maybe 2 years for fights and stabbings. Like I don't know.
While you in the box?
Yeah, when I'm in the box, I'm with Blue Boy, and he's like one of the most notorious motherfuckers in the state. You know what I'm saying? And he stayed in drama, and me and him got mad tight. You know what I mean? And mad dudes started coming up that we had beef with from downstairs in population. And my man Quiet Tone came up, and me and him was together the day when I popped off.
Right.
So one of the cats came up that was cool, one of the dudes I stabbed or whatever. So everybody spoke like men, said, listen, this is what we're going to do. Tomorrow, whoever's in the middle, don't come out. Let Mike and Dice come out. They're going to go to the yard and they're going to handle their beer out. So nobody come out. And that's how it was. This kid Dice is from Fort Greene. He was cool, one of the dudes I stabbed, so we went out to the yard and we got it in. We stabbed each other up. Unfortunately, I got hit again in the same lung. You understand? And I hit him in the artery in his arm. You know what I mean? So we both went to the outside hospital, but it wasn't as bad as my first time. I came back. They brought me back to Unit 14. I lasted like another maybe 6 months there. And some cat, he had snitched on my man Blue. Okay. And Blue cut him through the bars. He grabbed him, pulled him to the gate and cut him through the bars. And he went and told the police. I mean, blatantly snitched on the nigga, went to the police and told him that it was him, that Blue cut him. So on shower day, they got this faggot nigga outside. He's a porter now. He's working for the police. You know, he's cleaning. They got him sweeping. They lock him out of cell. Yeah. You know, he's like the police little pet. You know what I mean? So when I come out to the shower, my niggas is coming back in. They telling me, yo, be careful, because this cat is out there. He got a mop bringer inside a bucket. The bucket's empty. Be careful. He's going to try to hit one of y'all. You know what I'm saying? Be on point.
Yeah.
So when I come out for the shower, boom, Blue passed me an ice pick. I put the ice pick in my shirt. Boom. They don't search you when you come out for the shower. All they do is tell you, put your hands behind your back, come out in your drawers and your T-shirt with your soap in your hand and your slippers and step out. And you got 2 police escorting you from the back to the shower. That's what they do.
Right.
So when they did that, as soon as I got close to the shower, homie grabbed the mop bringer and he went to try to hit me. So the police grabs me. Like they were setting me up for this nigga to hit me. So when the police grabbed me, I pulled the police. He went flying into the dressing table. It was a wood table like this, solid. He hit his head and fell. He started leaking. So you already know what it is. They jumped on me. They whipped my ass something terrible. They handcuffed me and stomped me.
And you had the fucking ice pick on you.
Right. You know what I'm saying? But I still got the swing at homie, but I didn't hit him. You know what I'm saying? They grabbed me. They all jumped on me. Yeah, they pulled him to the side. Yeah. I couldn't do shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? I got like 15, 16 police on me now. Once they got the handcuffs on me, all I saw was gloves and boots. Yeah. The motherfuckers knocked me out, woke me up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I was leaking. I woke up, I was leaking. The motherfuckers had a towel around my neck because I was leaking so bad from when they cracked me behind my head. Boom, they picked me up and carried me all the way to the hospital. And the motherfuckers gave me a new bid for that.
So you got a new bid for that?
Yeah. They beat my ass and gave me a new bid.
Okay, a new bid for those individuals, the listeners, and you know that don't know nothing about that. What's a new bid?
That's a new charge. They gave me a new charge. They gave me 1.5 to 3 on top of my sentence for assault on officer.
Was it run together or separate?
No, it was run separate. So my initial sentence was 8 to 24. Now they gave me 1.5 to 3. So now my bid became 9.5 to 27 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you went outside court.
Right.
And they gave you a year and a 1 to 3.
Right.
Okay. So then after that, where you went at?
From there, from Clinton.
You was in the box for how long?
I was in the box for 3 years.
You was in the box for 3 years.
That's when I saw you. When I left Clinton, I was going to Wendy's. So I went to Auburn Transit. Okay. And that's when I saw you. I was in Auburn Transit for like a week.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So after the whole, like, at one point you became settled. You know what I mean? Meaning, like, you know, okay, it's time for me to either go home and relax and not catch no more beef or no more, you know, like, let me change it because I'm trying to go home.
I'm glad you brought that up. My last 10 years, my mother came to visit me. I was in Southport, right? I was in the box, SHU again. That was the last time I went to the box. So my mother came to visit me. She was the only one on my corner. She was the only one doing for me, the only one coming to see me, her and my sister. And everybody always asks me, like, what was your biggest fear? Was it to die in jail, to do life, like never come home, or somebody? None of that shit fazed me. Like, be honest with you, we had the mindset where we'll never get used to being in prison. That's one thing that'll never happen. I don't give a fuck who you are. I know I would never get used to prison.
Hell fuck no.
The only thing we do, we adapt to the situation because we're strong.
That's it.
If you're a warrior, you know, that's what separates us from a lot of weak dudes. You got a lot of dudes that cut their throat. You got dudes that cut their wrist. You got dudes that hang up that can't take it. It's not for everybody.
Absolutely.
If you're not a G, you understand what I'm saying? And trust me, the walls will close in on you and you're going to do something to take your own life. I'm not cut from that cloth and it's not going to happen.
Fuck no.
You feel me? But my mother came to see me. My biggest fear, Pistol, in all my bid was that my mother passed away while I was in jail. That was my biggest fear, my only fear. And that's something that I fretted so much, man. And every time the police used to call me inside or whatever, oh, you got an important phone call, you got to call your mother or your family, I used to panic. That's like my only fear, like something happened to my mom's. I'll never forgive myself because I came through at a young age. I was 17 and I put that lady through hell.
Right.
And she didn't deserve that. You feel me? So with that being said...
So she came to see you in Southport?
Right. She came to see me in Southport.
And how was your conditions when she seen you in Southport?
I had a fucking afro with a beard. I looked like Che Guevara. You know what I mean?
As far as like, did you was able to talk to her or she was behind the glass?
She was behind a cage. In Southport, they got you like behind a fence.
And the plastic, right?
No, it wasn't a plastic. It was just a fence. Okay. And all you got is like a little slot where they could pass you food. Yeah. You feel me? So I was in
I'm
there
only
like
asking because my mom's came to see me in Southport.
Right.
Never come see me, but decided want to see me in Southport.
Yeah, and you know how you go down there, Pistol. You know you go down there, you shackled up.
They kept me shackled up.
So when your family look at you, it traumatizes them because they look at you, they like,
my mom's freaked out, like, oh my God, who you killed?
Exactly.
My God, please, people, and she came, my baby moms, baby, wah. I'm like, oh shit, that shit was crazy.
It affected my mother too. So that's why this was what changed my whole fucking like way of thinking. Like, she looked at me, bro, and she told me straight up, she said, listen, you seem to think that your reputation in here is what makes you. You seem to think that this is important to you, more important than me. She said, I'm busting my ass coming up here twice a month, 3 times a month to see you. This shit is far as fuck. And I'm coming all the way up here. I'm standing on those long-ass lines, bringing you packages, bringing you money. You understand? And you constantly getting in trouble. You constantly getting into beef for dudes in there that are going to forget about you once they get out. I'm not going to forget about you. I'm your mother. But you don't seem to give a fuck about that. You worrying about your reputation to a bunch of strangers that don't give a fuck about you.
Right.
And if you keep worrying about them and not giving a fuck about me, I'm not coming to see you again. That was it, my dude. Like, when she told me that, like, she fucked me up.
You said.
I went back to my cell and I thought about that shit. So I had tears in my eyes because that shit broke me. I'm looking at my mother. I said, damn, I realized how much I'm hurting her. You feel me? And I said, yo, I got to turn my life around. I got to stop this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It don't make me less of a man to try to avoid shit. I'm never going to let a nigga, disrespect me. But there's a lot of ways we could avoid shit. But our temper and our pride didn't allow us to do that. You know what I'm saying?
We were just moving on impulse. That's all. Right. We was just young.
You know what I'm saying?
Full of energy.
After that, I did the last 10 years smooth, man. I ended up getting my GED. You know what I'm saying? I ended up getting...
So you got out the box?
I got out the box.
And you went where?
I went to Wendy's.
Okay.
When I went to Wendy's, I got my GED. You know what I'm saying? I graduated from the school there. I was going to night school. I ended up getting a couple of vocational trades, doing panels for office cubicles and building chairs in the foundry and stuff like that.
Good shit.
From there, I ended up going to Green Haven.
Okay.
When I got to Green Haven, I started working in the unit for the physically disabled. That's working with convicts that's in wheelchairs that are paralyzed, that got shot up by cops or whatever the case may be and shit, and they can't fend for themselves, so they got them in a special unit. You know what I mean? And they in special cells and shit where they transfer themselves from the chair to the bed.
Right.
But they got convicts that help nurses.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, help these guys go to the shower, help them get in their chair.
Take care of them.
Yeah, and shit like that. So
you was doing that?
Right.
And how long you did that for?
I did that for like 5 years. I got certified as a nurse's aide. You know what I'm saying? I got certified to clean blood spills and infectious waste and stuff like that. And I left out of there. I left out of there. Yeah, I left out of there with some good vocational trades that I could have utilized out here, man, when I came home.
Let's give it up for my man Mike, man, from the Bronx, man.
Thank you, brother.
So and then right after that, like you did the 10 years smooth.
Right.
You didn't bump into no problems.
Nah.
Nobody that you cut.
Nah.
And you stood where? Wendy's?
No, I stood in Green Haven the last 10 years of my bid. That's where I came home from.
And you came home from Green Haven.
Yeah.
And how long you been?
Right now, I've been home 11 years.
11 years.
Yeah.
And what you been doing since you been home, Mike?
I've been working, man. You know, I started a family. I got a daughter that's 10 years old. I have a son that's 15 months.
God bless, man.
Thank you, bro. You know, and I've been blessed, man. You know, I'm working. Right now, I'm a manager of a warehouse, a produce warehouse in Hunts Point.
Okay.
I'm helping my mom pay mortgage on her house. She has a 2-family house. My pops passed away 3 years ago. So I moved in with my mother because it's a 2-family, and I'm helping her pay her mortgage.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I got my kids out of the Bronx. We upstate.
So you with your moms?
Yeah, I'm with my moms
Mom
and my
is good.
kids. Yeah, she's with her grandkids. She's happy.
That's good.
You know,
Thank God.
my kids are upstate. They're away from the bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I'm trying to just move forward, man.
So all you doing just working?
Working.
Are you on parole?
Nah, I got off parole 2011.
Okay, and you was on parole for how long?
Only 3 years. I had 7 years parole, but the PO took me off for good behavior after 3 years.
So you applied with all the rules and stuff like that?
Right, because I was working consistently. As soon as I came home, I started working. So being that I had a track record of constantly working, not getting into any problems with the law, they gave me a shot.
Good shit. So now you've been home 11 years.
Yeah.
And you got 2 beautiful kids.
Yeah.
And you working.
Yeah.
What you think about jail reform? You know, there's a lot of celebrities, a lot of people getting involved with jail reform and all sort of ways and shit like that. What you think about all that?
I think there's a lot of people that have good intentions, but don't have enough knowledge. You understand, as far as what's going on with the system. And no matter how many people you have out here that are trying to do the right thing to help people that are in prison, we gotta start from the inside out, man. And that's starting with Albany, because these laws that they're passing and the harsh sentences that we're getting, man, it's ridiculous, man. You know, they made a thing where they had guys that had violent crimes, where Governor Coxsackie, I don't know if you remember him, when he came into office.
Shit, of
he
course
told
I do.
he told the parole board,
Yeah.
anybody with a violent crime, you make sure they max out.
Yeah.
You do not let them go home.
Yeah, everybody getting hit on the ball.
Now, I'm saying to myself, what kind of bullshit is that? It's supposed to be the Department of Corrections. Once you do your bid, once you get rehabilitated, you get every program they ask you to get, you're supposed to be given a second chance in society, no?
Absolutely.
That wasn't the case. And I was a perfect example of that, because I got denied parole 6 times. I got hit at the parole board 6 times with 2 years, bro. I had 12 years in hits. You feel me? And that shit was ridiculous, man, because I chilled out for my last 10 years.
So you went to the parole board 6 times?
6 times, bro.
And got 2 every time you went?
Deuced every time
24 months every time you went?
man. Every time. Yeah. And I had 3 years. Look at this.
I did the same thing. I went 3 times.
There's one thing I didn't tell you, though. I had 3 years recommended loss of good time. When I was in Green Haven, they were going to release me. I already saw the parole. I signed my papers, and I was going home with my CR. I had a week left to go home, bro. They called me in from the yard. They were like, listen, you got to see the time allowance committee. I was like, whoa, hold up. What the fuck you talking about?
What's the time allowance committee for the people that don't know?
A time allowance committee is when you accumulate a certain amount of loss of good time in prison. That means you get that from when you get into any types of fights, whether it be a fist fight, knife fights, any serious infractions that you get while you're incarcerated. They take good time when you go to a hearing. So they could give you anywhere from 6 months to a year. You understand? But if you keep getting like different fights, it accumulates. It adds up. So I had 3 years added up, all the fights and shit that I got into during the duration of my bid.
Right.
But they never called me to the time allowance committee when I got close to CR. Your CR is your conditional release. When you got 2/3 of your sentence in, you're supposed to be released.
Right.
But if you have loss of good time, you have to see a time allowance committee, and it's up to them whether they're going to give you your good time back and let you CR, or they're going to hold you.
Okay.
So they never called me. I already signed my papers. My mother brought my clothes to go home. I had a week left to be released. They called me down and told me that I had to see the time allowance. So out of the 3 years, they took 18 months away from me and pushed my date back. So I had to send my clothes back home. It didn't matter that I signed my parole papers, and I had to wait another 18 months before I was released.
What?
And that's what they did to me, yeah.
But is that legal?
Of course not. It's not supposed to be, because when you get a loss of good time, when you go to time allowance, they're supposed to give you 90 days to appeal.
Yeah.
They called me a week before my release. And that's exactly what I brought up in the hearing. But the hearing, there's nothing recorded. They don't got a stenographer recording nothing.
Yeah. They don't have nothing holding it. Yeah.
Right. They have no video. So how are you going to prove anything?
Right.
It's their word against yours. So basically, how are you going to...
They did what they wanted to do.
Exactly. This is what I mean. So in order for you to have any type of reform, people got to understand it has to start from inside the prison system. You feel me? Because the prison system, they're allowed to get away with so much foul shit. You understand?
It's gonna
that
be
it's
hard to
unbelievable.
change,
exactly, man. It's gonna be
be
really hard.
Because we're not dealing with our own kind in there, you know. So we are never gonna win.
And look how many jails they talking about building right now. Now they talk about building a jail in every borough. They got a $5 billion budget to build a brand new prison because they're gonna close down Rikers Island in every borough.
Yeah.
What type of reform is that, bro?
They just added. They just want to keep adding to keep putting us in.
You letting people go, but you building new jails to bring people in. So like, what are we accomplishing?
True. You're right, Mike. So you know what, Mike? As far as that's why we got shows like this. This is the reason I created the show like this.
And I appreciate you calling me.
You know what I'm saying? The dog in the yard, so just that you be able to come and and enlighten the youth. You know what I'm saying? So people can hear your story and what you had to go through, and without you ain't had to go through that because you did 10 years and you was good.
Right.
So if you went through hell first, but point is, why you think shows like this is important for the youth?
Because I think that they can relate more to us because we've been there. You know, when I was a kid, somebody that never been locked up or someone that never been to anything, like let's say a teacher tries to give me advice. The fuck you gonna give me advice? You live in the suburbs, right? You're not in the hood with me. You're not in the projects. You don't see what I'm going through. You know what I mean? The youth, they wanna hear it from somebody that's actually in the trenches, somebody that's actually going through it. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to hear it from somebody that has never been through anything in life. And we've been through hell and back.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Absolutely.
And I think that by them seeing the fact that, damn, man, this G did 20 years, man, and look at him, man. He came home, he started a family. Look at Pistol. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Dude came home, he got his own show, he's successful, he's doing his thing. He's not fucking with prison anymore. He's doing the right thing. He's got brothers like me coming to a show and enlightening the youth. They see that, man. They see that we hood dudes, we street dudes, but we're trying to give back and let them know, man, listen, my G, this ain't what it's about, man.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Because now they got so many cameras on the street that if you piss in a corner, they know how many times you shook it.
That's
you know what
sure.
I'm saying? And so you're not going to get away with nothing. You're not.
Yo, it's crazy cameras all over, huh?
Yo, this became a police state, dog.
It's like a big
They
jail.
don't even need cops walking
That's what
around.
I be saying. You know, I be saying this is like a big jail. Like, we free, but we ain't really free.
But what you think? You think that was just a coincidence? They doing that because now they don't need to have police on the street. All right, go ahead, do your thing. Think that you could do what you want to do.
Oh, no, they can always go by the camera. That's how everybody going to jail.
Exactly. That's all. That's how they catching everybody on camera.
Yeah.
You run from one block to another. They go to every store and get their security camera, and you fucked.
You're right. Well, Mike, listen, man. I want to thank you, man, for coming, my brother, man.
I appreciate you.
You hear me? It was an honor. It was an honor having you here, man.
Thank you.
And I haven't. It's so crazy, Mike. Because you blew my mind. Because for whatever reason, I'm like, this is Mike. Like I couldn't even recognize you. I swear, I'm like, it's been so many years, and I'm like, yo, Mike, I love you, Mike.
Likewise, my
you hear me?
Yo, I haven't seen you in 25 years.
That's what I'm saying. I want to show that I love you. I always thought about you, bro.
I appreciate
you. Hear me? And I said, like the moment that we got in trouble and that whole back to Coxsackie shit and all that, it was just like so many memories. Like people talk about that to this, that's history.
Yeah, man.
People talk about that to this day. Like, like that's one of my shit that yo, Pistol, you closed Coxsackie. But they don't know. I was like, my man Mike got stabbed.
Yo,
that's why I closed that jail down.
I'm in Green Haven, right? And I'm watching the rap videos. I see Lean Back. All of a sudden, I see your fucking ass walking across the screen. I said, hold the fuck. I said, nah, hell no. I said, that's not my man. And they said, yo, that's Phil. I said, get the fuck out of here. I said, yo, this motherfucker. He went from the yard to a rap video. Look at this thing.
You see that shit?
Word up. That's official.
Working, man.
No doubt. Do your thing, man.
Thank you, Mike, for coming, man. Love you, boy.
Love you too, my G.
BX in the building. You already know. Shout out to Big Mike for coming through. Dog in the yard. Took that little walk with me in that yard talk. Me and Mike have a lot of history together. We was in prison. We shut this shit down. You know what I'm saying? We did our thing and all that. Nothing to be proud of. I mean, It's just like certain circumstances are, it just don't lead you to no other choices in prison sometimes. So you gotta handle your business and bust your gun. You know what I'm saying? And Mike was one of those that he almost got killed in prison. Got stabbed up really bad, inch away from his heart, all kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just happy that he's home. He's out here. He's been home for 11 years. He got his family. He's blessed. And that's what it's about, man. You know what I'm saying? So you already know. It's your boy, Pistol Pete, dog in the yard. It's that yard talk. Get at me.
Splash. 1, 2. This is a step. This is how gangsters do it. Splash. Step. 1, 2. I'm in a whole lot of songs, they look like colonoscopes. I got the white for the white boy that's sniffing the shit, then he ski down the slopes. I got the can for that lady that thinks she could take it, but know that she can't. I got that work for that work that's gonna work.